and he did just that, firing back on Twitter at the NFL after the league announced they are developing an educational video for players to show clear examples of appropriate and inappropriate celebrations. Quote, an educational training video on celebration. Spend that money on something else, like a video on investments or something that will actually help players. Who gives a bleep what guys do when they celebrate? Do something impactful. Y'all wasting guys' time with this bleep. Let the players express their individuality and creativity. Y'all going to make an educational video on how we should talk next. Ouch. Roger Goodell was on Mike and Mike this morning, and here's what he had to say about the video.
What we've heard from our players, I've heard it repeatedly, I've heard it from our fans, is they want to give the players the opportunity to celebrate and to do it in a way that's respectful. We obviously, there are lines. What I would like to do is get our officials out of that and allow our officials to officiate and focus on the important things in the game, not judging whether they stayed within the standards of the video or not. And I want to reach out to our players and find out what are the right standards for us here, because it reflects on all of us.
An instructional video on celebrations. I'd love to see this video and what they deem as appropriate and inappropriate. Do you agree with Bennett, Max, that this is just a waste of time?
Yes. Look, if something is sexually explicit or overly violent, we get it, it's family entertainment, there's judgment there. I always thought it was ridiculous that the NFL penalizes you on the field for a celebration after the play. That never made any sense to me, and I think that's really the problem. But when you talk about the kind of culture clash here, look, Puritans founded this country, right? And there's a lot of good things about the puritanical kind of ethic, the work ethic, the promise. There's lots of good stuff about it. But no one culture is perfect, and it can be a little prudish, you know, and we live in a multicultural society, obviously, the greatest one on planet Earth. And so it's not always going to be the way it once was, when it was a more homogenous population making decisions about propriety and decorum and the way one should conduct themselves, even in celebration. Maybe, you know, it's not going, all celebrations are not modest to the puritanical standard. So there's that, the kind of culture clash. Now, I do understand where football has military roots. It's a military game. George Carlin, the late great comedian's famous bit about, you know, it is a military game, and it explains how it's a perfect war metaphor. Yeah, sure. And so it requires precision and dedication and discipline. But the great players do that on the field. We're not talking about on the field. We're talking about after the fact. And for the NFL to legislate the way people express themselves when they're happy is and always has been absurd. Within reason, of course. Yeah. If it's sexually explicit and kids are watching, we all get it. But beyond something like that, you got to be kidding me. This is why the NFL, no fun league, this is where they get it.
I appreciate the intellectual perspective that you provided, because I'm going to be significantly more raw than you just was. The word homogenous and puritanical and things of that words, that's not going to come out of my mouth right now. I'm going to put it plain and simple. I don't like it. I'm with Martellus Bennett in terms of I resent it. And I'm going to go there. It's just another mechanism trying to be implemented to control black folks. I'm going to call it like it is. Now, you obviously have white individuals who play in the sport of the National Football League, and we know that the rules are applicable to them
celebrate,
as well.
like a Gronk or Travis Kelce.
We know all of that, but we also know that from an historical perspective, whether it was from the days of Billy White Shoes Johnson to primetime Deion Sanders and others, the brothers just have a different flavor. It's just the way that it is, okay? Now, whether it's the brothers, whether it's, you know, which was something we'll get into a little bit later on with the baseball classic and how Kinsler talked about Latino players and the way that they celebrated. It's one thing for players playing to say that they have a different taste and there's a way that things are done traditionally for them. It's another thing for a commissioner, as far as I'm concerned, to literally embarrass himself and the National Football League by talking about how they're going to try to study what's the appropriate forms of celebration.
Yeah, how do you even do that?
How do you even do that? It's just
like Antonio Brown popping it. Is that
Max is absolutely right when he's talking about things that are sexually explicit or are too antagonistic or whatever. You've got to monitor. There are lines that can't be crossed. We get that. Perhaps you can sit up there and monitor it from a time perspective. You got 10 seconds, and you better not do it any longer than that, because we're trying to speed the game up and hide behind that timeline, all right, and nothing sexually explicit or whatever. But outside of that, that's pretty much it. And the need for the National Football League to take this course of action, it's incredibly insulting. Every time we turn around, I'm talking about as people here, and I'm going to say it. Every time we turn around here, we're talking about a sport that has become a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate. Would you have been able to do that without the brothers? I mean, the world of Major League Baseball, if it were not integrated, I'll pull a Max here and pull out 1947 when Jackie Robinson ultimately integrated baseball, and Larry Doby followed him a couple of years later, and the list goes on and on. Would baseball have become a multi-billion-dollar conglomerate? What about the National Basketball Association? Would it have ever been able to become the global iconic brand that it was worldwide if there were not brothers on this level in the United States of America that assisted in popularizing the sport because their exploits were so phenomenal you couldn't ignore it? All I'm saying, Max, in closing, is this. Whatever level of success the world of sports has been able to generate for itself, revenue-wise or what have you, is based off the backs of African Americans in this country that showed up and not just produced, but performed. There's a difference between producing and perform. You can go out there and perform, but have no regard whatsoever for, you go out to produce rather, but have no regard for performing. When we talk prime time, we look just as forward to him prancing into the end zone as we did to him catching.
I'm glad you brought up Billy White Shoes Johnson. Who didn't like Billy White Shoes Johnson celebrate?
Yeah, as fans, we want to see it.
Everyone loves that. And furthermore, and this is what's happening in the West. And by the way, our politics are very divided along these lines right now. Not everyone's culture is rooted in Western Europe. Mm-hmm. The dominant culture in this country is, and there were many good things and continue to be many good things about that. But it does not have exclusive dominion over American culture. America is a pluralistic society. It's multicultural, and we have benefited from that. So a lot of this is the reaction, and we see it in our culture, we see it in our politics, of the dominant culture, and certainly the once dominant and somewhat receding culture, insisting that theirs is the only way to do it. But not everyone. Not everyone's culture is rooted in the same place. And it's not all from Western Europe, and we are the better for that.
And by regulating, I think they're actually hurting the game, because fans love it just as much as the players.
They're trying to define what should be fun for the fan.
Yep.
And we can slice it any way we want to, but they're pointing the fingers at a different community. Maybe if you had more representation. If I saw somebody other than Roger Goodell, if I saw some brothers in the league office that were speaking on these issues, maybe, just maybe, I would feel a tad bit different, but I doubt it.
No question. We'll leave it there. Can I get a Roll Tide? We're going